Firefighters are investigating what sparked the flames inside the Shoreline Apartments today, just hours ahead of its scheduled demolition. The fire broke out a little before noon on 7th Street off of Niagara Street. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Taylor Epps is live on the scene tonight.
Ashley, dozens of firefighters came here to battle the flames on the 3rd floor of the building. Hours later, things seem to have calmed down a bit, but now we're left wondering what happened here. According to the Buffalo Fire Department, this 2-alarm fire required a lot of resources, including a decontamination crew who is here because of reports of asbestos. Up to 30 firefighters may have been exposed. Crews eventually evacuated the building as a precaution. The Buffalo Fire Department is now investigating what happened.
Yeah, by the looks of it, there could be some splatters in there, here and there, and we think that may be how this fire started, possibly. It's still under investigation.
The old Shoreline Apartments have been vacant since 2017. Now, as 7 Eyewitness News told you earlier this week, these apartments are set to be demolished later this month. We contacted the owners of the building, and there are still plans to demolish them. This fire did not impact any of those plans. Live in Buffalo, Taylor Epps, 7 Eyewitness News.
Legalize marijuana, tax cuts, and more college scholarships are among the many goals for Governor Cuomo in the year 2020. He delivered his State of the State address this afternoon in Albany. Tonight, 7 Eyewitness News reporter Allie Tui is following the story for us. She's live in our newsroom right now with some of the highlights.
Keith, Governor Cuomo spending more than an hour at the podium today outlining that aggressive agenda. Chief among his proposals, unfinished business from last year. He once again is proposing legalizing the adult use of recreational marijuana. Small business and middle class tax cuts are also part of Cuomo's agenda this year. He's proposing statewide paid sick leave, which includes 5 days of paid leave for smaller corporations and 7 days for larger ones. New today, we also learned Cuomo wants to expand the Excelsior Scholarship Program to offer tuition-free public college for families making less than $150,000 a year. Currently, the cap is $125,000. Finally, he's proposing a $3 billion Environmental Bond Act, something that would need voter approval at the polls in November.
We must replant more trees. We must filter more drinking water. We must stop the nitrogen runoffs. And that's what the Restore Mother Nature Bond Act will do, those investments and more.
Meantime, Republicans less than thrilled with the governor's proposed plan.
There was no discussion on accountability in programs. They're taking taxpayer money, and they're finding ways to spend it and squander it.
Something else Republicans were hoping to hear more about, the $6 billion budget gap. Cuomo only briefly mentioning it, saying it's largely due to Medicaid and he wants it restructured this year. It will likely be addressed during his state budget proposal scheduled for later this month. We're live in the newsroom this evening. Allie Tui, 7 Eyewitness News.
Andy's been talking about it all week. With a wet weekend ahead, many neighbors across western New York are preparing for possible floods. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Ed Riley shows us some ways to protect your home.
Well, it's going to be scary, okay? Especially if you have, if you're in a flooded area.
It looks like western New York will be hit with an extreme amount of rain this weekend. That means stores like Ace Hardware in Hamburg will be busy as people scramble to replace broken sump pumps.
With a storm with 1 or 2 inches of rain, everybody could be challenged easily.
Store manager Jim Ziomic is also a former home inspector. One of the big problems he's seen is sump pumps being overworked because home gutter and downspouts are not channeling water at least 5 to 6 feet away from the foundation.
Some people don't realize it's just dumping right at the foundation line. A lot of times that's just cycling back and around and around.
Too often people buy underpowered sump pumps because they're cheaper. Ziomic warns those are more prone to fail in heavy rain situations.
Bigger the motor, the better you're going to be.
If you have a pedestal pump like this one, consider replacing it with a submersible pump. Submersibles move more water and the motor stays cooler because it's underwater. Pedestal pumps can overheat and shut down with constant use.
If you were to flood, if that motor goes under the water, that's it. It's over.
Switches are the most common electrical part to fail on some pumps. While some can be replaced, others cannot.
There's no warning signs. It generally just stops.
Consider replacing any sump pump older than 5 or 6 years. While water-operated backup systems are available, Ziomic said the best plan is to have a spare pump on hand because you never know when a sump pump will quit. And that's where having a water alarm can really pay off. This battery-operated one only costs around $15. You place it on your basement floor, and when it senses water leaking in, it sets off an alarm, letting you know there's a problem. At Riley 7 Eyewitness News.
Still to come at 6 tonight, Tech Wars. Hundreds of local students square off to be named one of Western New York's best tech engineers.
And it looks like the snow showers are just about done. It's the bitter cold that'll be there in the morning. We'll take a look at the weekend as well, straight ahead.
And the new school bathroom policy, some are comparing to a prison. And 7 Eyewitness News continues.
Four people, including 2 firefighters, are being treated tonight for injuries after this crash in Buffalo today involving a fire truck. This happened at Jefferson and East Utica. Authorities say that the fire truck was responding to a call when it crashed into 2 other cars. We have not heard yet how serious those injuries might be.
One Western New York school district has a controversial new plan to stop students from vaping and vandalizing school property. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Olivia Proya shows us what Lakeshore is doing and why some parents are not happy.
School or prison? That's the debate surrounding Lakeshore High School's new bathroom practice.
If they need to use the restroom, they just ask the teacher the way they normally would when they ask to go to the bathroom. But they call down the office and we just have a monitor come up there and escort the kids to the bathroom.
The hall monitor does not go into the restroom with the student, and kids can use the restroom freely during lunch and in between classes. It's not a new practice.
Basically, it's the same procedures that schools use during exam time.
The new bathroom rules will only be in place for 2 or 3 weeks. It's mainly to teach students to respect their school. The whole reason this even began was due to vandalism and vaping issues.
It was just getting to the point where there were times when there was vandalism and we had to shut down some bathrooms, so there were actually less bathrooms for kids to use during the day because we had to wait to get them fixed or snaked out because of some of the vandalism that was happening.
Our Facebook post sparked debate. Some agreeing with the policy, others comparing it to the way criminals are treated. Kimberly shared all the schools need to do this. David asked, are these kids in prison or school?
It also has some unintended positive consequences where more kids are staying in the classroom that maybe, might have not been in the classroom.
In Angola, Olivia Proya, 7 Eyewitness News.
The future of the high-tech workforce all faced off today at Niagara County Community College. The school hosted its Tech Wars competition today at the campus in Sanborn. Hundreds of students from dozens of different schools all over Western New York took part. The students competed in all kinds of events like car races and robot trials. All of the technology used today was crafted by the students themselves.
I feel like it gives you a good experience and it's more of a hands-on learning experience.
They have the opportunity of taking classroom activities and taking them a step further than we can do it in the classroom.
This was the 24th year for this event.
It is Girl Scout cookie season and there is a new cookie this year, but you might not actually be able to get your hands on it. The new cookie is called a Lemon Up. They have positive messages baked into them like, I am a leader and I'm a go-getter. But the baker used by the Girl Scouts in Western New York doesn't actually offer the cookie. No, instead they have the classic lemonades, which are very similar. A fight against hunger, getting some extra muscle in Western New York. Feed More is kicking off the new year with a couple of big announcements. The merger between the Food Bank of Western New York and Meals on Wheels of Western New York now complete. Also, Feed More Western New York is expanding its services this year. It'll be offering home-delivered meals to 500 clients throughout Niagara County. That number was just 50 just a few months ago.
Winter weather is back here in our part of the country. Our meteorologist Andy Parker tracking your 7 first alert forecast tonight.
A lot of great pictures. I know Autumn shared one with you that one of our people saw and took and did the old See It on 7 hashtag, and we got that one. Let me show you this one tonight as we begin. This one coming off of Skywatch. It's a time lapse, and you can see these bursts of snow kind of dropping out of the clouds, almost like sheets of rain, but in this situation, it certainly reduces visibility. Take a look at that one right there, swept through Kenmore, and we're seeing that continue. Now, we are seeing some light snow in the city. That's a live picture right now as you look northward, and you can see the snowflakes falling, reducing visibilities, but it is far from a whiteout. It is cold now. Look at this. 8 degrees is the wind chill, and we're going south from there. We've shaved 3 degrees off. Now, this is 7 Super Doppler. We've got this here at street level. We're going to look in between the buildings the same direction that Skywatch was looking. I'm going to peel you up a little bit. This is that burst of snow that went through the north towns and then now making its way right through the city, but not nearly with the same impact. Although don't tell that to the folks out in Lancaster. Take a look at this as we move out towards 20. This is coming down pretty good. Old Stone, Glen Hollow, Town Line, Delwood. This is a decent burst of snow right along 20.